Hello and welcome to this special edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. We will be taking a look back at 2012 and showing you the most interesting news packages of the year.
I
Arthur Vigent,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Arthur Vigent was sworn in Monday morning as the new mayor of Marlborough, taking over for Nancy Stevens, who did not seek re-election. Vigent, who previously served as City Council President, was sworn in during ceremonies at the Whitcomb Middle School auditorium. City councilors and school committee members were also sworn in. Vigent won the election in November in a tight race with challenger Matt Jones.
Some of you here today may have noticed I did not win this election by what I would call a landslide. Every candidate who runs for elected office envisions winning by a 2-to-1 margin. I am grateful to the voters who put their trust in me and took the time to vote, especially those that ventured out who were still without power or who had to leave their homes to stay with friends or relatives. Many people did not vote for me. I thought about this long and hard since the election. I want those who voted for my opponent to be proud of how our city is run. It is my hope that by how I serve the city as mayor, I will earn their respect and their support.
On December 12th, Mayor Vigent met with Governor Deval Patrick, Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray, and their cabinet secretaries to discuss ways to partner together. The Patrick-Murray administration has worked with cities and towns across the Commonwealth to help Massachusetts recover from the economic recession faster and stronger than other states. Late last month, Vigent announced his executive aide and executive secretary for the mayor's office. Michael Berry will be the executive aide and Patricia Bernard will be the executive secretary. Vigent has also decided to keep Donald Ryder as the city solicitor.
Members of the City Council and the Mayor are very happy to have an internal member of the Marlborough Fire Department appointed as chief.
I think having someone internal, Mr. Ford in this case, was significant. He's clearly dedicated to the community. He has great passion for the work, very committed here. Morale has been problematic with the fire department. I think this is a great opportunity to bring in a leader who's going to hopefully restore that morale. Having the contract settled is a big step forward, but having a quality leader, someone who can bring this department forward is really significant, and really, really very proud that Mr. Fortin submitted his name, and glad that he could make the appointment.
Captain James Fortin was named the new fire chief of Marlborough after Mayor Arthur Vigent made his choice public on Monday at the City Council meeting.
It was a pretty long process, and I had put a committee together. They had gone through all the resumes themselves. I never looked at any resumes until they actually sent me the final 2. They did an interview process where they interviewed, I believe, 8 or 9 candidates, and Jim was one of the recommendations they came in with, and I think he's going to do a great job down there. I'm looking forward to working with him. He's a good decision maker, and I really think he's going to do a great job as our Marlborough Fire Chief.
Chief James Fortin has been a member of the Marlborough Fire Department since 1983. He has climbed the ranks, being appointed lieutenant in 1997, to captain in 2006, and now to chief in 2012.
It's a very exciting time right now, being a lifelong resident of the city and growing up here, having my family here, and being a member of this department for 28 years now. It's a very exciting time to be actually the leader of this department.
Chief Fortin has 2 goals as fire chief, both of which show dedication to his city and fellow firefighters.
The main goal is the ability to keep the level of service to the citizens of Marlborough that we are delivering right now. And I said the main goal, but it's probably equal that every firefighter is able to go home and work in a safe environment, and at the end of their duty shift, they're able to go home without any serious injuries.
James Fortin has taken the reins from Deputy Chief Frederick Flynn, who has been serving as acting chief since former fire chief Ricky Plummer resigned in August. Around 9 a.m. on Monday morning, the Marlborough Fire Department responded to an alarm at the Lake Williams condominiums on West Main Street. The fire quickly spread through the building and has caused the displacement of nearly 70 residents. There were no human fatalities, though several pets were lost.
While we were responding, fire alarm reported that the alarm in the building was going off. Upon our arrival, we had heavy smoke pushing out of the upper, again, Alpha Delta corner of the building. It was obviously up in the half story above the units, and I'm not sure exactly what's up there, but I was told there are storage bins up there also, along with just that mansard. So it's considered a half story, and the fire was up there, and within 15 minutes it had taken off and it was extended. We did try to make a cut off halfway through the building here with no success.
The fire department worked all morning and into the afternoon to control the fire. It took dozens of firefighters and about 800,000 gallons of water to fully extinguish the flames and get rid of hot spots.
Well, Monday was a tense day. The fire department did a great job in responding to the fire under the leadership of our new chief, Jim Fortin. We had mutual aid coming from many of the communities around, all working together, and I can't applaud the fire department enough for the job they did down there.
Roughly 30 apartments were completely destroyed by fire, smoke, and water. As the fire was pushing its way through the West Main Street condos, many families and residents were forced to watch their homes go up in flames.
You only need to look back to the April 23rd fire at the Lake Williams condo complex to see just why the mayor's charity ball is so important.
For all the the people and the families that it's helped in the past, especially now with the the tragedy in Marlborough. I'm not quite sure there's the mayor will take a look at what's needed after. I know the Red Cross has had a big involvement with that, so he'll take a look to see what's needed there and apply funds accordingly. So, and it could go a lot of other places too.
The charity ball, held every 2 years, carries a Run for the Roses theme based off the horse racing derbies.
Originally, we were supposed to have this in March, and it came on May 5th was the date that we got. It just happened to be the same day as the Kentucky Derby, so it just worked out great.
This charity ball was Arthur Vigen's first as mayor, and all the hard work that went into preparing for this night was not lost on him.
They just did a great job. They really did. I mean, they're just naturals at doing this.
Included in the night's festivities was the mayor's choice for Humanitarian of the Year.
He's been working for the city for a long time, and with that, I'd like to announce that a public commendation is issued in recognition of being named Humanitarian of the Year 2012 to Doug Rowe.
I put a lot of time into it, actually, and went through a lot of different names. We have so many people in the city that give so much. Sometimes it's a little difficult to pick one person, but Doug's been doing it for a long, long time for different organizations and different events, and it's just one of those people that I don't think he's ever won one of those types of awards, but he's well deserving of it.
It was a surprise, but it's great. And earlier this evening I was looking at the various signs that they had of the people that have won it before, and I was thinking, how many of them I've known and stuff, and it really is an honor to be included among those.
Local nonprofit organization Employment Options was struck by tragedy this past weekend when a possible suicide was committed in their own parking lot.
It's a horrifically tragedy, not only for us because we're not sure yet who the individual is, but at the same token, it also impacts members' lives here on a daily basis and also an emotional life basis.
Around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday, the man pulled his car into a parking spot in between 3 Employment Options vans and set them all ablaze. The destroyed vans bring 56 people a day to jobs, medical appointments, and other activities. These vans are critical to the everyday operations of the organization.
For us, transportation is a critical service need. We lost 3 vans. They're about $40,000 a van, so that gives an idea of the impact financially. And also, I also want to make sure that the human factor is also part of this tragedy.
Since the incident on Saturday, the individual has been identified and a medical examination and police investigation is underway. The man is said to have no correlation whatsoever with employment options, and police continue to question why the individual chose this particular location to end his life.
What we now know, based on the police report, is that this individual did have mental health issues. However, he was not an active member of our agency. But it does speak to the need of mental health issues. So the feeling was from the police is that he probably came here because it was an isolated environment. So although he was not an active member here, using our services, it speaks to the importance to me about being part of the community, and so this is a loss regardless.
In lieu of this tragedy, Employment Options is reaching out to the community for monetary donations or vehicle donations in order to help transportation to and from the organization get back in service. 2012 was a big year for the city of Marlborough. We're going to take a quick break before we come back with our last 4 big stories of the year and a sports update with Alexandra Grace. Stay with us.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families,
united.
Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week's Top Stories of 2012. I'm Alicia Brandt. Before we head back into Marlborough's biggest stories of the year, we're going to get a quick update on Marlborough sports from Alexandra Grace.
While the temperature outside is dropping, things are heating up for Marlborough's girls basketball team. They took on Assabet Valley, who came into the game with only 1 loss so far this season. The Panthers, at 2-4, needed to hit a rhythm in order to upset the Aztecs.
Assabet Valley gets off to an early lead. Tia Joubert nails the 3. Then it's Hunter Drake. She gets the layup for 2. Drizzy Drake again, this time for 3. She had 15 points for the Aztecs. Joubert with the steal, drives it down, the layup and the foul. She'll bounce right back, a wide open shot for the long 2, and it's good. Aztecs are up 20-10 at the end of the first. The Panthers don't quit. Selena Giroux passes it back to Marissa Flynn. The 3-point shot is good. Aztecs applying heavy pressure. Flynn finds Amanda Monfalcone. She fires it up and scores. At the end of the second quarter, the game is tied at 24. There is no surprise this crosstown rivalry game was physical. Justine Butler off the glass for 2. Then it's Flynn again. She'll shoot the 3 and scores. It's a close game. Marlborough's up by 1 going into the 4th. But Assabet Valley starts to look tired, and the Panthers don't show any signs of slowing down. Monfalcone hustles down the court and finishes with a strong layup. Giroux, with 2 men on, struggling to find an open pass, takes it all the way to the bucket. That puts the Panthers up by 3. Flynn stealing the ball off the glass and scores and gets the foul. Ooh, she makes the free throw. Flynn led the Panthers with 17 points. Another top scorer, Victoria Petrie, that's just 2 of her 11 points of the night. It was a close battle, but it's Marlborough who gets the win. The final score, 48-42.
I think that we're in very good shape at this point in the season. I think that we are used to playing at that up-tempo pace. So for us, as the game got into the 4th quarter, it was something that we're used to playing with in practice, in our games. And so I think that the girls felt right at home playing that style of basketball in the 4th quarter. So that's why I'm not surprised some of those shots went down. And the girls that we have are hardworking girls, and when it comes to getting loose balls and picking up the rebounds and that sort of thing, all those effort plays in the 4th quarter, that's what really makes a difference.
Marlborough improves their record to 3-4. They've got a 2-game winning streak and will look to keep that momentum going as they host Westboro. For WMCT, I'm Alexandra Grace.
Thanks, Al. Here's the last of some of Marlborough's biggest stories of 2012.
Supermarkets always seem to be a crowded place in the summertime, but at Hannaford's this week in Marlborough, it was especially busy. and not because the 4th of July barbecue items were on sale. No, it was a much bigger reason.
Hello, everyone.
David Ortiz, who homers by night and sells salsa by day, was at the local Marlborough supermarket to greet fans, pose for pictures, sign autographs, and of course, sell some salsa.
Oh, it seems like it's good. Yeah. Yeah, people really like it and very tasty.
That's a secret of your success this year so far, would you say?
Maybe.
Besides selling the salsa, Ortiz was selling the Red Sox chances of moving up in the standings.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of guys that have been injured, and pretty much we are the team that have been going through the situation more than anyone else. But we are expecting those guys to be back pretty soon, and we're just gonna keep on trying to play the way we are. I don't think we're doing that bad, just like it was at the beginning, and hopefully get better.
Overall, the appearance of David Ortiz at Hannaford's in Marlborough was something fans will never forget.
You got to see David?
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
He said, well, he just said it's great to see you. I hope you're a Red Sox fan, you know. He's a great guy.
You get something signed?
Yeah, I got my hat signed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice, look at that.
Bobby Butler is living his dream. The Marlborough native is entering his 3rd NHL season. This year, he'll be wearing a different uniform. After being bought out by the Ottawa Senators last month, he signed a 1-year, 2-way deal with the New Jersey Devils. Butler has never taken anything for granted, and this offseason, he has been working hard to prepare for the upcoming season.
It's all about working hard and coming ready to play, and been working hard this summer and really focused, so it's just all about playing well at the right time and just being ready to go.
The 2-way deal means Butler will have to earn a spot with the team or risk being sent down to the minors. He's confident he will make the big club.
Definitely, it's 2 different lifestyles. One is traveling on the bus, one's in planes, so it's definitely something you work towards, and I did it already 1 year for 45 games, so it's something that you just look forward and you need to focus and be ready to play.
Bobby's dad, who is also his high school coach, believes his son will be in the NHL when the season begins.
You know, he's a young kid. He had a couple good years, and he has an opportunity to, again, stay there. And I have the utmost confidence he'll do well once he gets the opportunity, and I think he'll do fine there.
Bobby received offers from several NHL teams, as well as a number of clubs in Europe. But the Devils, who lost 3 forwards during this offseason, will give him the greatest opportunity to play.
It's an opportunity, and when I talked to the team, there was opportunity there, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it, and so I'm very excited.
Another reason for signing with New Jersey was the fact he would be much closer to his friends and family here in Marlborough.
It's awesome. It's something that I wanted to, and one of the reasons I chose there is because it's close, and it's definitely something that is going to be helpful.
John, who made many trips north of the border to watch his son play, is also excited that Bobby will be closer to home.
Yeah, I put some miles on the car going up to Ottawa. It was a nice 7-hour ride. But now that it's, New Jersey will be a little bit better, maybe 4 hours, so less wear and tear, 1 cigar instead of 2 cigars, you know. It's always good to have your kids near you. You don't spend that much opportunity with them because when they get older, they go away and they're not around. So when they're around, it's nice to have them around.
It wasn't all work and no play for Butler this summer, who got to spend some quality time with friends and family, including his 2 brothers, who he is very close with.
We had some fun out on the lake this summer. My little brother threw in one of my buddies. We had a good time on the lake, though. Jet ski and everything, yeah.
John says it's different watching his son play from the stands rather than coaching him from the bench.
You look at the game differently, and you can talk to your kid more because you know a little bit about the game, and he respects your opinion to a degree, and then he takes a go at the bad, and he listens, which is good, and you have a better relationship with the game of hockey, so it's fun.
The elder Butler is also excited for Bobby's new opportunity, and there's no doubt how he feels about his son's accomplishments.
You know, I'm proud of all my kids. So it's emotional, but they all worked hard. They get what they deserve. I always told them that. And Bob found a profession, and my oldest son Jay has a profession. And Al, we don't know what's going to happen to Al. He's going to school, so hopefully he'll be fine too. So you're always proud of your kids.
He also acknowledges that Bobby didn't get where he is by accident.
Yeah, he put his time in. Anything that's meaningful in life, you got to work hard to get. And he worked real hard, and he's getting his just reward. If he keeps working hard, he'll get more rewards. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's his choice. But that's all the kids, whatever they end up doing, they do it because they work hard at it. So.
All the success has not gone to Bobby's head, and he has somehow been able to keep his ego in check.
I'm just the same old kid that went to high school in Marlborough and just hanging out and enjoying the summer. It's something that I've always dreamed of, and it's a dream come true, and every kid dreams of it, and I'm lucky I got to be at that point in my life.
As the beginning of the school year fast approaches, Interim Superintendent Stephen DeLotte seems up to the challenge of making sure the Marlborough school system is once again headed in the right direction.
I did speak to the school committee. I was very interested in, what they are thinking. I was able to speak with the principals, and I also outreached to the community, to the teachers, and to try to forge a vision and some goals. Some of the goals that the school committee were most interested in, and I'm also interested in those, is that financial transparency in the drafting of the budget. I've drafted many budgets. I've been in many districts. And I think it's most important that people know where their tax dollars are going, so we get the support for what we're trying to do.
DeLotte is no stranger to running school systems. He was the superintendent for Westboro Public Schools from 1997 until his retirement in 2005. He has also worked on an interim basis for a number of towns.
Yeah, interim are very enjoyable because I get to meet a lot of different people, expand, the people I actually know, see a lot of fine children and work with fine teachers, get to know the community. So I've done interims in Boylston Elementary School. I was superintendent of Hudson Public Schools. I was principal of Groton Dunstable Regional High School, principal of Bartlett High School, and now superintendent here in Marlborough.
DeLotte believes Marlborough has a great system here and believes he can once again put the system on the right track.
Another important goal to me is communication and the building of trust. It's so important that parents feel that they're sending their kids to a very fine school system because they are. The Marlborough Public Schools is a very fine system. I'm well aware of a lot of the programs because I was twice a neighboring superintendent, 2 different towns, Westboro and Hudson. And we always felt that Marlborough, we know of the Marlborough programs, and we think they're excellent programs, and I'll be working with them.
He is looking forward to the start of the school year and has spent the last few weeks getting to know the faculty and staff.
The people I've met with, and there are teachers around, because I'm coming as teachers are decorating their room, serving on different committees, so I have talked to teachers. I like the enthusiasm I see. I like the fact that people are excited about starting the school year. I think that's contagious to children. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to be the community that responds to the needs of children. And I believe Marlborough Public Schools do that in many different ways. And as I said, I've been very impressed with both the teachers and the administrators that I have met, because even in that conversations, they're always talking about children, and that's what we're about, children.
DeLotte's contract ends next June, at which time a permanent superintendent will be in place, and DeLotte will assist the school committee in the selection process of that person.
The school committee actually does the hiring by law of the superintendents, but any role that I can play in facilitating that process, I am more than happy to do because I've done it before and I enjoy doing it.
Marlborough held their 61st annual Labor Day parade this past Monday, and residents could not have asked for a nicer day.
Marlborough's finest starting it off, and then, we're going to see plenty of marching bands, and we're going to see all the politicians, and the Shriners should send their little gizmos down the street too, so we're going to have a great parade here today. Nice weather.
Oh, it's beautiful today. Could it have been any better?
No, this is a great day. I think we got a great turnout today also.
The parade made its way down Main Street for the better part of Monday afternoon. Bands, floats, emergency vehicles, athletic teams, and many more were part of the parade this year. Also, with it being an election year, Scott Brown walked down Main, as well as Elizabeth Warren and other local politicians. Some onlookers were also excited to see friends and family marching in the parade.
My daughter is a sophomore at Active Boxborough Regional High School, and she does color guard for them, so she's marching with their marching band this year.
How do you feel watching your daughter go through the parade?
I love it. I love it. We've been coming to the parade for years. Even though we live in Acton, we have lots of friends in Marlborough. Come here quite often because it's a great time to spend together with the family. A nice way to spend the day off from work. And for the past 2 years, my daughter's been in it, so it's been extra special.
So she's had a little bit of experience doing this. What is she feeling before she comes out today?
She's a little nervous. You know, she tosses flags, rifles, and sabers, and all you want to be doing is walking down Main Street in Marlborough and drop your flag in the middle of the parade. So she's done quite well, and I'm very proud of her.
I think it's really cool to see her in the parade and having all these other people watch her.
The Marlborough Labor Day Parade has a little for everyone.
I really like the marching bands.
Yes.
And the marching band's coming right now.
Yeah, the marching band is coming up, so we're all anticipating that. What do you like about the bands?
I like seeing all the instruments and like if there's any unusual instruments, it's really fun to like see what instruments there are and stuff like that.
Do you play any instruments at school?
Yeah, I play the cello.
Although the 61st Labor Day Parade is now a memory, soon enough, Parade Director Ed Thurber will be hard at work planning the 62nd Labor Day Parade. That's all for 2012. Bring on 2013. Thank you for watching this special edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. See you next time.
Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the city held its 77th inaugural exercises on Monday morning. 4 proposals have come forward for a new senior center location, and coming up later in this half hour, the city will be switching to a container system for rubbish and recycling removal this summer. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's top story.
I, Arthur Vigent, do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Arthur Vigent was sworn in Monday morning as the new mayor of Marlborough, taking over for Nancy Stevens, who did not seek re-election. Vigent, who previously served as city council president, was sworn in during ceremonies at the Whitcomb Middle School auditorium. City councilors and school committee members were also sworn in. Vigent won the election in November in a tight race with challenger Matt Jones.
Some of you here today may have noticed I did not win this election by what I would call a landslide. Every candidate who runs for elected office envisions winning by a 2-to-1 margin. I am grateful to the voters who put their trust in me and took the time to vote, especially those that ventured out who were still without power or who had to leave their homes to stay with friends or relatives. Many people did not vote for me. I thought about this long and hard since the election. I want those who voted for my opponent to be proud of how our city is run. It is my hope that by how I serve the city as mayor, I will earn their respect and their support.
On December 12th, Mayor Vigent met with Governor Deval Patrick, Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray, and their cabinet secretaries to discuss ways to partner together. The Patrick-Murray administration has worked with cities and towns across the Commonwealth to help Massachusetts recover from the economic recession faster and stronger than other states. Late last month, Vigent announced his executive aide and executive secretary for the mayor's office. Michael Berry will be the executive aide, and Patricia Bernard will be the executive secretary. Vigent has also decided to keep Donald Ryder as the city solicitor. Following the morning exercises at the Whitcomb School, a reception took place at City Hall. For the most part, it was a celebration, but some business was conducted first. Both the City Council and the school committee held their organizational meetings to elect officers immediately following the inaugural exercises. The City Council elected Trish Pope as its new president.
I've been on the City Council for 14 years, and it's such an honor and a privilege to be nominated and elected president of the City Council from your colleagues that you work with every day. As president, it's my job to be the point person between the council and the mayor, and kind of keep us as a cohesive group moving forward for all the things that are going to be good for the city.
The council then elected Ed Clancy as its vice president.
I want to thank all the other councilors for their support, and I will not disappoint them.
Clancy has lived in Marlborough all of his life, and he thoroughly enjoys serving the city.
I was always interested in politics as I went through my years. I worked for many other candidates who were city councilors and former mayors. So I feel that, the city of Marlborough, I can represent them, and I will not disappoint them.
Newly elected Ward 2 City Councilor Rick Jenkins is looking forward to his new role and wants to focus on a current issue facing his ward.
I think our biggest issue right now that I'm going to pick up the ball and follow it through is the helicopter situation down at the airport, where the hovering is causing problems for the residents. So I'm going to be sending a letter out to the company that provides that schooling there, and look for some cooperation with them.
Ward 3 City Councilor Rob Trinera is looking forward to his second term.
It's been a learning experience, and I continue to learn, so it's been a great experience so far.
The school committee also met after the inaugural exercises in the mayor's conference room to elect a vice chairman and secretary. Michelle Bowden-Henninger is the new secretary, and Vigent will act as chair.
I'm very excited to be working with Mayor Vigent. He's going to be a wonderful chair, I know that for sure. We've been, since Dr. Pope has come on board, we've done tremendous planning and goal setting as a district, and it's really time to implement it and start tracking our progress.
The school committee is looking forward to the upcoming year with new member Heidi Matthews.
I think she's going to be a very passionate, invested member of the committee, and it's going to be wonderful working with her.
Matthews felt it was important to run for school committee.
I had been involved in the schools for many years in school council, and I felt it was the next step in my career. And we've done so much in a short period of time, and it was time to make sure it continued on.
We also caught up with former Mayor Nancy Stevens.
I know I made the right decision for me to move on to the next phase of my life, but I just care so much about the people that I work with, and to not be able to see those people that have been with me for 6 years every day, that's hard. I'm leaving a lot of friends.
Stevens, although sad, is looking forward to moving on with her professional career.
I have a few things a couple possibilities, and I knew that when something came along that would intrigue me, I would know it. And I've got a few things, some possibilities that I'm working on, and I'm looking forward to the next phase of my professional life.
Stevens says she isn't going anywhere, and you will still see her being active in the community.
I live here. I'm not going anywhere. People seem to think that I'm going to disappear. I mean, I live in the city, and I'm going to be here. So I'll still be running into everybody at the grocery store on the weekend. It's just that I won't be able to help them with anything anymore. So that'll be a little different.
During Mayor Stevens' tenure as mayor, plans for a new senior center were discussed, and that's one of the issues Vigent plans to tackle in his new role. 4 proposals were opened last month after a request was put out to property owners to submit properties that met specific guidelines. The proposed properties are 86 Pleasant Street, 165 Forest Street, 40 Mechanic Street, and 525 Maple Street. The old West Meeting House at 86 Pleasant Street is about 12,500 square feet and would be available at a $965,500 purchase price or $10 per square foot lease. The second proposal at 165 Forest Street is approximately 14,000 square feet, owned by Forest Street Building. This location had a proposed purchase price of about $2.6 million with a $12 per square foot lease proposal. The Mechanic Street building at just under 14,000 square feet is a former post office. It also has a proposed price of about $2.6 million and a $12 per square foot lease proposal. The property at 525 Maple Street is the former Registry of Motor Vehicles. the building has been vacant for years. The 17,000 square foot building was proposed for a $1.2 million purchase or a lease of $9,500 per month. Mayor Vigent plans to review the proposals and will form a group to examine them. Marlborough Hospital's CT department has achieved a 3-year accreditation from the American College of Radiology. The accreditation was awarded at the end of November.
It means that we are doing the best possible job according to the American College of Radiology that a patient can expect.
CT scanning, sometimes called CAT scanning, is a non-invasive medical test that helps physicians diagnose and tailor treatments for various medical conditions.
CAT scan is a diagnostic procedure that uses X-ray to image the inside of patients' bodies, and it uses X-ray with multiple beams so that it focuses through the patient and records different densities within the tissue, and it actually creates a cross-sectional view of the body, so that when the physicians or clinicians look at the images, they're actually seeing slices through the patient in a two-dimensional format.
The scan is performed by having the patient lay down. The scan is then performed. It takes about 7 seconds.
Each time the scanner is going through the patient, it's actually creating 40 slices as it's passing through. So it gives the doctors a lot of information, great crisp images, and it's also very quick. So patients that come in for a CAT scan today are noticing that their scans are so much faster than they used to be years ago.
A physician can see the images right from their desk or even from home.
They don't have to come to the hospital and ask for the old films that we had. You also have the whole issue of not having to store them like you used to before. You used to have outside storage and keep them for so many years. This way, they don't have to worry about that part anymore.
The images can be taken apart in order to find the exact point of interest.
There's 8 little bones in your wrist, and if you just want, and they kind of all overlap when you look at them on an X-ray. With CT, what we can do is we can take all the other bones out and just look at that one. We can spin it around, upside down, or do whatever we want to do with it, so that they can see if there's a particular area of that bone that is causing the patient's problem.
According to Marlborough Hospital, the ACR Gold Seal of Accreditation represents the highest level of image quality and patient safety.
It means that if a patient sees the ACR logo in the department or in our hospital's advertising, it means that we are an accredited facility and that they can be sure that they're getting the absolute best care and that their safety is also of concern to the hospital's patients as well.
Board-certified physicians in the field awarded only to facilities meeting ACR practice guidelines and technical standards after a peer review evaluation.
We are accredited for 3 years, and in approximately 2 years we'll have to start the whole process again and submit all of our data and go through the review again.
8th graders from across Massachusetts will unite next Saturday, January 14th, for a day of service honoring the legacy of Martin Luther King, Jr. The youth ambassadors representing the Commonwealth's 351 cities and towns were nominated by education leaders in their hometown. One student from the Whitcomb School will be participating. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Christmas tree pickup will begin. But first, State Senator Scott Brown will host a job fair in Worcester on Monday. That story's next. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. On Monday, Senator Scott Brown will be hosting a job fair at Worcester State University. Potential employers lined up to attend include Fallon Community Healthcare, Home Depot, Liberty Mutual, Macy's, and more. The event is scheduled from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Worcester State's Student Center located at 486 Chandler Street. Also on Monday, the Department of Public Works will begin to pick up Christmas trees. From Monday, January 9th until Friday, January 27th, trees should be left out on the curb on the same day as regular trash pickup. Residents can also bring their trees to Galone Park, where a drop-off area will be set up. Residents with a residential sticker can also bring a tree to the We Care Environmental drop-off location on Boston Post Road East. Onto regular trash pickup, the city will begin to switch to a municipal container system for rubbish and recycling removal this July, which could raise recycling rates and save money in removal fees. Currently, residents put out their trash in their own containers and bags and put their recyclables in totes provided by the city. The new system would be completely containerized. Each home will receive 2 containers, one for trash and one for recycling, that will be picked up through an automated process by a truck. The new contract for hauling fits within the appropriation, about $1.2 million annually for the current system, and should be in place by July. Although final details are still being worked out, the recycling containers will hold about 95 gallons and the trash containers will hold about 65 gallons. The program is meant to encourage people to recycle more and reduce their trash, for which the city pays a disposal fee by the ton. The automation of the pickup process will allow all the trash and recycling to be picked up on one day instead of the current 5-day cycle. Coming up next, we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Ice, ice, baby.
Today we have Salem, and Salem is a little 12-week-old female kitten. It's not common to see kittens in the wintertime. A lot of folks don't realize that cats do not go into heat in the winter months, and that's nature's way of protecting newborn kittens from the cold. So very rarely do we have kittens here at Buddy Dog or anywhere in this area in the wintertime. She's super active, high energy, like most kittens are, and she's going to need some training and lots of toys and playtime. But if you're interested in a friendly young kitten, please call us about Salem. The number is 978-443-6990. Woo, Salem, yay!
And before we go, don't forget that you can find all the information you need on our Facebook page. Just search WMCT-TV and become a fan. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the City Council and School Committee met for the first time this year. The City of Marlborough now has its own Facebook page. Plus, Marlborough Hospital is about to convert to a new way of storing medical records. And coming up later in this half hour, an informative meeting for students and parents regarding financial aid. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's City Council and School Committee meetings.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file. All in favor?
The City Council met on Monday night, which marked the first meeting of the year. Newly elected City Council President Trish Pope conducted the meeting. The following night, the school committee voted to get rid of half of its subcommittees in an effort to be more efficient and thorough when discussing topics. The committee voted to cut the curriculum, technology, and human resources subcommittees. Finance, policy, and negotiations are still active. In other business, Instructional Leadership Director Maureen Grulich said that the IT department is making progress in its effort to outfit classrooms across the district with overhead projectors. Grulich said the projectors will be installed school by school, starting with the high school. Mayor Arthur Vigent is pleased to announce that the official Facebook page of the City of Marlborough is now up and running. The city's Facebook page will feature notifications about upcoming meetings, emergency alerts, and school closings. Mayor Vigent said that keeping up to date with modern technology is vital to ensuring that the city officials stay connected to residents. The page can be found by searching City of Marlborough. Mayor Vigent recently named Michael Berry of Walpole to serve as his executive aide. Berry has served on the Walpole School Committee and is currently the vice chairman of the town's Board of Selectmen. Vigent also named Trish Bernard as his executive secretary. Bernard has 20-plus years of experience in administrative positions. Berry replaces Krista Holme, and Bernard replaces Catherine LaRose, who had both served under former Mayor Nancy Stevens. Two committees are currently being formed to make recommendations for a new fire chief and another to review proposed sites for a new senior center. Vigent, who just completed his second full week as mayor, says he wants to get both projects going as soon as possible. The first committee will be in charge of recommending qualified candidates to lead the fire department. Deputy Chief Fred Flynn has led the department on an interim basis since former chief Ricky Plummer resigned in August. The second committee will be in charge of finding a new site for a senior center. Former Mayor Nancy Stevens put out a request for property owners with buildings they believed could fit the needs of a new senior center. The city received proposals for 4 buildings: the Old West Meeting House on Pleasant Street, an office building at 165 Forest Street, the old post office at 40 Mechanic Street, and the former Registry of Motor Vehicles building at 525 Maple Street. Vigent said the committee will consider the 4 proposals that came back with the request, as well as any others that have not been discussed yet. City Clerk Lisa Thomas is asking any resident who does not want their property sprayed for mosquitoes this year to come into City Hall and sign an exclusion sheet. Staff from the Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project will be picking up the exclusion list from the City Clerk's office sometime after April 1st for review. For more information on the Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project, please visit cmmcp.org, and for questions specific to Marlborough, please contact Lisa Thomas at 508-460-3720. Marlborough Hospital's computer system will shut down this weekend, and a new electronic medical record system will start up. The transition will improve patient care. We spoke with hospital officials this week to get more details as they geared up for the change.
The nurses will move from pen and paper to an electronic environment. So it's a very exciting time for us, but at the same time, a little scary.
The days of paper patient records at Marlborough Hospital will be history. Once this transition happens, which is happening across the country, every x-ray, doctor's note, and record of an emergency room or inpatient stay will be stored in a central computer system.
Now, inpatients will see it very clearly. Some of the outpatients won't see portions of this come online, you know, anywhere between the next 6 months to a year. So you have to take just little pieces of patient care at a time, and so that's where we're headed this weekend.
Millions of patient records will be converted to the new system.
Not only is Marlborough Hospital making this change, but UMass Memorial Medical Center, so the Memorial Campus, the University Campus, and the Hanneman Campus, as well as Clinton Hospital, we're all making this change at the same time, and we're all using like records.
Over the past 6 months, employees have been trained.
The most challenging piece was to make everything the same. So a lot of us document differently, and we all had to agree on a certain way to do it. So that has taken about a year and a half to get to that point.
Some hospital staff have stepped up to help others with the change.
When we are beginning it, they'll be in the hospital. They wear little vests of a color, which I'm not sure which color the nurses will have yet, so that people can recognize them, and they'll just be around to support the nurses doing the documentation so that the nurse caring for the patient will actually have their full attention devoted to the patient.
The federal government has pushed for electronic health records as a way to reduce costs and medical errors.
One of the portions of the Affordable Care Act said that we need to try and reduce paper. We need to move everybody to an electronic medical record so that it can be portable regardless of where I choose to go for health care. So this is all part of that. There are some strict deadlines in the process, and it would sound like it would be a really easy thing to do, but it's not. You have to make sure that you don't lose any information in the process, that, and especially if you have 3 or 4, even 10 different systems running in the background, that all of those come together and there isn't one piece of information that is lost in the process.
Health providers with electronic systems that meet criteria will receive increased Medicare payments for 5 years and a bonus for putting in the system by 2014. Something else that's exciting for hospital officials is a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Cancer Pavilion, which will be taking place next Thursday. The new facility will be attached to the north side of the existing hospital and is an expansion of the UMass Memorial Healthcare Cancer Center located in Worcester. The new center has an estimated construction cost of $12.7 million and is scheduled for completion in early 2013. For more information on how to support the new facility, please call 508-486-5807. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School is gearing up for a major repair project. But first, the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math program in the school district is challenging students one project at a time. That story's next. Please stay with us.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math program in the school district, also known as STEM, has been going on well so far this year. We spoke with Bill Rigney, the district's STEM instructional specialist, to see what's new with the program. Currently, 6th and 9th grade students are learning how technology, engineering, and other core academic subjects connect to real-world situations in their STEM class. Next year, the program will expand.
This current school year, we have 115 6th graders and 70 9th graders in the program. And next year, we'll be adding a new 6th grade and a new 9th grade, so we'll end up with 4 grades next year, 6, 7, and 9, 10.
Staff and students have responded very well to the program so far. The program does, of course, focus on science, technology, engineering, and math, but it has other focuses as well to ensure a well-rounded curriculum.
It's not just about science and math and engineering. English is an integral part of our program because writing and reading and speaking and all of that is so important in today's world that kids have to learn how to do that as well.
The concept of STEM has been around for quite some time, but for today's students, this program couldn't be more important.
In today's society, students or people in general need to be able to communicate. And I think that STEM goes a little bit beyond that we talk in education about 21st century skills of communication, critical thinking, collaboration, all of those kinds of things that are so very important. And as we are more technologically savvy in how different new sciences or new engineering designs surface, students have to be able to work in those fields.
Recently, staff came up with a competition for students to come up with a logo for the STEM program. After many submissions, one was chosen.
The winner of our logo contest was freshman Michaela Lacera, and she was able to take her prototype design and allow some of our advanced engineering students to use their more sophisticated software to develop a real three-dimensional model. And out of all of the entries that the advanced students had, Michaela was able to select the winning design.
One of the main components of the STEM program is the use of laptops. Currently, students are only allowed to use them during classroom hours, but soon they will be able to take them home at the end of the school day. We spoke with Maureen Grulich, the district's Instructional Leadership Director, to find out about a forum that will be held to discuss the expectations of students when they do take the devices home.
We've rolled out the use of laptops slowly to make sure that the students are comfortable with them, to work out any technology glitches that we have.
During classroom time, students utilize the laptops for classroom assignments.
It's one of the very important technology literacies that we're hoping to have instilled in our students to make them college and career ready, that it really is not just for one specific assignment, but that it really opens up the world for them.
Allowing the students to take home laptops at the end of the school day was also on the agenda, but school officials want to make sure that there are policies and guidelines in place. At the school committee meeting this week, Grulich outlined a few ideas to members.
This is a guideline procedure document that talks about how to care for the laptop, what the expectation is, warning them, please be sure when you have athletic activities after school, you don't just leave it in your backpack on the side of the field. And again, really, they have in their backpacks very expensive science books, math books, and this is an extension of their learning. It just happens to be in a tablet form, and it's a piece of technology.
To ensure that all parents and students are aware of these expectations, an informational session will be held.
Mr. Rigney and myself and Mark Gibbs, the IT director for the Marlborough Public Schools and for the city, will be present to answer any questions and to roll out a refresher on the computer usage policy. We'll start with that.
Once students are allowed to take the laptops home, a concept called the flipped classroom could be implemented.
Flipped classroom is an innovative way of looking at education, where the teacher creates either a video or a pen cast of a specific lesson. And so the homework assignment for the student is to watch that teacher in action. So to actually take part in the learning at home. Oh, I didn't get that piece, rewind. So they're very responsible, taking ownership for their own learning. Come in the day, and now the teacher is really working one-on-one in a much more intimate setting and more personalized and differentiated for the students. Flipping the classroom will become now an expectation, or at least we've provided the students with the tool if the teachers want to move in that direction. So this is an exciting time, just a very exciting landscape in education.
All college-bound students and their families are encouraged to attend an important financial aid event at Marlborough High School on Thursday, January 26th at 6:30 p.m. The program will provide instruction on the free application for the Federal Student Aid Program. The FAFSA application is the required form for all students seeking financial aid. The Marlborough High Guidance Department offers a FAFSA checklist that parents and students can use prior to the January 26th event to ensure all necessary forms and information are brought to the session. For more information, please visit fafsaday.org. Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School administrators are gearing up for public information sessions about a proposed $62 million building repair project. The school has already been awarded a grant to cover a little more than half of the cost, but must get funding for the other half from its 7 member communities. The proposal calls for repairs to the school's roof, heating and cooling systems, doors, plumbing, and lighting systems. Residents should be on the lookout for upcoming information sessions that will be held at area schools very soon. Coming up next, a scout project comes to fruition at the Grove. Plus, we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We'll be right back.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Volunteers spent Saturday, December 3rd, building 2 40-foot boardwalks at the Grove. The volunteer team was made up of scouts from Marlborough Troop 51, Crew 51, and members of the community. 17-year-old Eagle Scout Aiden Stedman organized the project. The boardwalks will help provide stable footing for visitors.
Today we have Sasha. And Sasha is a special case, as you can see. She likes to chew on your hands. She's super active. She's a bundle of energy, but she's lots of fun too for the right person. She's only about a year old. There was a family that had her and felt that she was just too much. And the sad story is they tied her to a post at the mall and were hoping that someone would take her. And when no one did, they put her back in the car and they dropped her off with the animal control officer. She needs work, there's no question about it, but she's friendly and she means well and she's going to be a fun project. So if you want to know more about Sasha and you have some time on your hands and like to jog for miles and miles, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, we just want to remind you that you can find all of the information you need on our Facebook page. Just search WMCT-TV and become a fan. And also don't forget to become a fan of the city's new Facebook page as well. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Cancer Pavilion took place at Marlborough Hospital. The Marlborough Fire Department is investigating an early morning fire that displaced a dozen residents. Plus, a special presentation was given at this week's Rotary Club meeting by a senior at Marlborough High School. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's top story. Hospital executives and politicians said on Thursday at a well-attended groundbreaking ceremony for the new Cancer Pavilion at Marlborough Hospital that the new facility will serve as a model for the UMass Memorial System and a beacon of hope for cancer patients. Hospital executives broke ground on what will become a 14,500 square foot, $12.7 million building.
When this was presented to the City Council while I was down there, we all discussed it as far as moving this project forward as quick as possible. We knew how important it was to the community. It was important to all the city councilors, and former Mayor Stevens was there with us to make sure there wasn't a glitch along the way with any of the department heads for any information that was requested.
The center will be attached to the north side of the hospital, which is scheduled to open in spring 2013.
This 15,000 square foot facility will provide our patients access to comprehensive care, including chemotherapy and radiation therapy, from clinical experts from the UMass Memorial Care Center for Excellence and members of our medical and nursing staff here at Marlborough Hospital.
Its goal is to offer the type of cutting-edge treatment one would receive in Boston in a more convenient community setting.
This hospital is what healthcare and healthcare reform is all about, providing the highest quality of care in a high-tech, patient-friendly, well-run, efficient setting with strong ties to its community and its patients.
In addition to finally being able to offer radiation, the pavilion will be part of UMass's Healthcare Cancer Center of Excellence that will give it access to not only the latest medications and methods, but will also allow it to offer clinical trials for the first time.
This is what healthcare is all about, the Cancer Pavilion. You know, we need to get a handle on our costs in healthcare. Certainly the business people in the room have spoken to me over time about getting a handle on our cost, because people don't think we're providing enough value. And the reality is we know we can provide even higher quality health care with less money, and that's what's going to be required, because the challenges that Jim deals with every day in Washington, the challenges on Beacon Hill, and the challenges to our business community.
Healthcare Cancer Center of Excellence Director Michael Blute said he sees the center as a blueprint for future cancer care. As the population ages, numbers of cancer patients will rise, and this is exactly the type of facility that will be needed to handle the demand.
People have looked at this, and we know that by the year 2020, we are going to be about 10% less medical cancer doctors, specialists. We're going to have about 10% less than what the demand is going to be. And that's going to be within the next decade. And in fact, we're going to have 10% facility capacity in terms of radiation oncology facilities to take care of the statistical number of patients who are going to need that therapy. So I said we have got to look at ways in which we can link ourselves to community cancer centers to deliver this patient-centered care.
Hospital President and CEO Karen Moore said one of the most exciting things about the center will be the environment in which they will be able to offer to its patients. Moore said studies show that the environment in which one is treated has a major impact on results.
We will continue to assure that not only excellent clinical care is provided, but that compassion is a hallmark of all care that we deliver.
The Marlborough Fire Department is investigating an early morning fire this week, which took many residents out of their home.
The fire that broke out around 6 a.m. Monday morning at 181 Broad Street displaced 12 residents. Although firefighters extinguished the flames before they reached the lower floors, the fire, which started in the attic, caused some serious damage. The fire was under control in approximately 20 minutes. Crews remained on the scene for several hours. The house had 3 apartments in which a total of 12 people lived. Red Cross was on the scene to provide assistance with shelter and personal needs. Damage to the 3rd floor attic rooms and roof structure is extensive, and the house will not be livable for months. There were no injuries to the occupants or the responding fire personnel. After the fire department investigation unit examined all the evidence, it has been determined that the fire started from an electrical source, but cannot be narrowed down to anything more specific at this time. According to the city's code enforcement officer, Pam Wilderman, the Broad Street home had poor wiring in addition to an apartment that had not been properly inspected and certified. Wilderman said the owners will have to complete a number of steps if they want to repair the basement apartment, which has water damage due to the fire.
38 people were arraigned in Marlborough District Court on Thursday following a drug sweep Wednesday night by Marlborough and Hudson police. The arrest came after an investigation by the 2 departments. The undercover officer purchased marijuana, cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, prescription pills, and other drugs from dozens of people in Marlborough and Hudson. According to Marlborough police, there are still warrants out on other suspects. Vestas Wind Systems, which is currently building a research facility here in Marlborough, announced last week they will lay off 2,000 employees. Vestas, based in Denmark, is the world's highest grossing wind turbine producer.
Local and state officials, including Governor Deval Patrick, joined Vestas officials for a groundbreaking ceremony in November on Crowley Drive, where the company is building a 27,000 square foot research facility. Vestas bought the 8.5-acre plot at 100 Crowley Drive in September and plans to invest $16 million into the facility, which they said would create at least 60 new jobs.
We plan to add at least 60 more employees here over the next several years. And I should point out that those are highly skilled jobs. Like the people in this room, those are highly skilled jobs with engineers and technologists drawing on exactly what brought us to Massachusetts and to Marlborough in the first place.
A 6.7% increase in employment in the first few years. 6.7% was last year's or this year's growth rate, and that is expected to double next year. in the worst economy in living memory.
Last week, however, the company announced that it would lay off 2,335 employees worldwide to cut fixed costs by more than $191 million. About half of the layoffs would be in Denmark, with most of the balance coming in China, Spain, Italy, Germany, and Sweden. About 182 United States jobs, or 5% of the company's U.S. and Canadian workforce, are set to be cut. At this time, company officials don't know what the cuts or potential cuts would mean for Marlborough.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a reminder regarding a financial aid event that's coming up at Marlborough High School. But first, 8th graders from across Massachusetts united for Project 351 last weekend. That story's next. Please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. 8th graders from across Massachusetts came together for Project 351 last weekend for a day of service. The youth ambassadors were chosen from educational leaders around Massachusetts. Pedro DeMello was chosen to represent Marlborough.
I felt surprised because I just didn't see it coming, but when he explained to me why I got chosen, I felt a great honor for actually being chosen by everybody in the school.
Project 351 was launched in 2011 when more than 400 youth ambassadors united to serve, develop leadership skills, and discuss issues critical to young people in their communities.
It's a day of leadership, a day of service, and a day of dialogue, a day of talking about how each individual can have an impact on their local community as well as outside their local community.
Last year's Day of Service impacted over 10,000 children facing economic challenges in the areas of nutrition, early childhood health, and development and education.
You always help yourself when you help others. So I think when you can step outside the confines of your local community and be able to help individuals that are less fortunate, that are struggling, I think first and foremost you help yourself, and then secondly you're making an impact, and that always helps, goes beyond your self-confidence, your self-esteem, but you're making an impact in your local and your community and other people, and that's always good.
The 2012 Day of Service began with a youth town meeting led by Governor Patrick at the State House. In the afternoon, the young people fanned out to service sites across Boston, including Cradles to Crayons, the Greater Boston Food Bank, the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Towers.
I got to work at Cradles to Crayons, which is a place where they deliver toys and clothes to children that don't have it. And there I got to give children toys by cleaning them and seeing which ones were broken or not able to give to children.
Project 351 impacts the lives of thousands of individuals.
I actually felt really good because once we saw the number of how many students how many people we impact, it really surprised me at how much, just by 2 hours or 1 hour we worked at, how much children we were able to impact.
The Day of Service is staffed by volunteers and made possible by a strong partnership with the City of Boston and their leadership of the Project 351 Service Coalition, including City Year, Citizen Schools, Boston Cares, and Cradles to Crayons.
There was a lot of people that took part in this. Not only the 351 representatives from other cities and towns, but the chaperones and all the different organizations that played a role. And then to see the impact that our little piece was having on so many other people, I know that it really resonated with Pedro in our talk, that he felt good. He felt good to have a little piece in all this, and that, hey, I can make a difference. And we had a conversation sort of what can we do going forward from here. And I think that's what it's all about. Just, this is a great day of service, but what can we do next? How can we have further impact and make a difference?
At the Rotary Club meeting this week, a senior student from Marlborough High School made a presentation to members about a trip that he took to Africa last year. He's about to embark on another trip this year, and his talk on Thursday highlighted the importance of what trips like these can do for students.
I love to travel and experience new cultures, but not only that, it's just to get this amazing medical experience that I really couldn't get anywhere else.
On Thursday afternoon, Rotarians received a presentation about how students are going across the country to gain a medical experience. High school senior Matt Zink spoke with us about how this program came to fruition.
Dr. Liss, who has set up this program, worked with local Metro West high schools to get high school students to go on this trip that he set up for medical students to Nicaragua.
The first trip was taken last year, and another is planned for this year. Zink was one of the students who went last year. He was able to go for free after winning a contest that involved a test at school. On Thursday, Zink gave Rotarians a look into what the trip was like, what the students got to do, and how it changed his life moving forward.
It's kind of cliche, but it really was life-changing. I feel like it set my career path for the future, kind of focused on what I want to do when I grow up. I think I want to be a medical professional, a doctor probably, I don't know exactly what, but definitely I want to do something with medicine.
This year, Zink and only one other student are taking a trip to Malawi.
It'll be myself, another high school student, one emergency room nurse, and then Dr. Liss, who is an emergency room physician, and then two other emergency room physicians, one in the local Massachusetts area, and then another doctor who's actually from California. But they both have ties with Dr. Liss through Tufts University.
This year's trip will differ from the last because it will be more spontaneous in regards to their schedule.
Last trip, we had an organization that we worked with. They were called Bridges to Community. And this year, we're kind of working on our own and with contacts that we have in the country.
Zink is thrilled to be going on another trip and looks forward to sharing his experiences when he returns home. The last trip opened his eyes to what's happening around the world, and he hopes to learn even more during this next trip.
Obviously, I knew that there were places like that in the world, but you don't understand what it's like until you're actually in that environment. But at the same time, you realize that they're not so different from you. It's just the material things that are different. And so it's just that opportunity to experience different places around the world, things that you read about in school, you actually get to experience them.
Looking ahead to next week, all college-bound students and their families are encouraged to attend an important financial event at Marlborough High School next Thursday, January 26th at 6:30 p.m. The program will provide instruction on the free application for the Federal Student Aid Program. The FAFSA application is the required form for all students seeking financial aid. The Marlborough High Guidance Department offers a FAFSA checklist that parents and students can use prior to the event to ensure all necessary forms are brought to the session. For more information, please visit fafsaday.org. Coming up next, Relay for Life 2012 will be kicking off on Monday. Plus, we have details about an event coming up on Tuesday night at the Marlborough Historical Society, and we'll have your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Planning for the 2012 American Cancer Society's Relay for Life of Marlborough and Hudson will officially get underway this Monday night, January 23rd. The event will take place at Fish in Marlborough at 6:30 p.m. for a kickoff rally to launch their fundraising efforts for the year. Anyone interested in forming a team, volunteering for the event, joining the planning committee, or just learning more about the relay is encouraged to attend. Bob Kane, the Marlborough Historical Society's curator, will tell the story of Samuel Boyd, who was a pioneering show manufacturer, a banker, and an entrepreneur. The presentation will take place at the Peter Rice Homestead at 377 Elm Street in Marlborough on Tuesday night starting at 7 p.m.
The presentation will explain why he's characterized as the
father of the city of Marlborough and what he accomplished in his 56 years here, and what he did for the city, and how important a role he played in the growth of the city and everything else. So very informative, very interesting. Plus we'll have refreshments. We're going to have apple crisp and hot apple cider and hot drinks and so forth, and have the fireplaces roaring. So if it is a cold night, it'll be nice and toasty inside here. So come one, come all.
Today we have Dusty, and Dusty is about as cute as a pup as I've ever seen here in all my 12 years. She is 4 months old. She's a purebred miniature poodle. She's here because even though she's a poodle and she doesn't shed, you can still be allergic to her, and that's what happened. The gentleman in the family was allergic, and so they had to bring her to Buddy Dog to find a new family. She's playful and active and sweet as pie, and I'm sure she'll find a home very quickly. But right now, if you're interested in Dusty, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Before we go, we just want to remind you that the official Facebook page of the City of Marlborough is now up and running. The city's Facebook page will feature notifications about upcoming meetings, emergency alerts, and school closings. Just search City of Marlborough. And also don't forget that you can find information on our Facebook page as well. Just search WMCT-TV and become a fan. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, we met with Mayor Arthur Vigent to see how his first month is going in his new job. Governor Deval Patrick chose this past Wednesday as a no name-calling day in Massachusetts schools. Plus, Kane Elementary kicked off a special school art project. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's top story. It's been almost a complete month for Mayor Arthur Vigent as he began his duties as mayor on January 2nd. The transition has been going well so far.
It's been great. It really has. My team's in place. Mike Berry is the aide and Trish Bernard is the secretary. She was doing some half days while she was transitioning from her old job. She had to give proper notice over there. She's now on board. We did our walk through City Hall the other day and introduced them both to everyone, and everyone's been great.
Vigent has implemented a Facebook page to help with communication to residents.
The feeling was with a city Facebook page, we're not going to be hitting the entire city, but we're going to be hitting people, and hopefully the discussions start, and you talk to your neighbor, and your neighbor talks to your neighbor, and so we can get some information on an emergency situation.
Vigent has also begun his duties as chairman of the school committee.
Learning a lot, great school committee members. We got a great superintendent, and looking forward to working with them. And you know, we have a responsibility to educate those 4,800 kids and want to do the best job we can at it.
We also spoke with him about challenges that he foresees in the next year.
Every day something new comes up, and personnel challenges and union negotiations, and trying to get the projects done that we've started in the city, the treatment plants, and moving some fun projects forward. The senior center, we've put the review committee together to review the proposals that were sent to the city, and looking forward to seeing the results of those.
Despite the challenges, Vigent is happy and excited to serve the city of Marlborough.
If I knew it was going to be this much fun, I would have done it years ago. It really is a great job, and we got exciting things happening. We got an industrial park where we're talking to some big new companies coming to town, and hopefully we can land one or two of those. And with that industrial park, we're able to pay for some of these other projects that we talked about.
On Thursday night, the Chamber of Commerce held a business after-hours event at the Embassy Suites Hotel, where they welcomed both Mayor Vigent and the president of Marlborough Hospital, Karen Moore. We spoke with the president of the Chamber to get more details.
Business After Hours is an opportunity for our members and other business people to get together and to meet one another. It's all about networking. It's all about making contacts.
The Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce is proud to be working with Mayor Vigent.
The Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce has had a tradition of working very closely with the city administration. And it's very important because when there are projects and things that need to get done in the city, the Chamber can support the mayor's initiatives. We can bring our resources together with the mayor and the city officials to get things done, to attract businesses, to help our employers in the community, to work with all the organizations that are in the city.
Lieber talked with us about the business community currently, and she is positive as we begin 2012.
I see things slowly but surely turning around. We see it in the attitudes in our business community, and all we can do is we work very hard to support them, to encourage them, to make connections where they need to be made, and to help them get new business.
This Business After Hours event was well attended on Thursday night, and Lieber is excited about what this year will have to offer.
I am pleased that the leadership of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Directors, myself and my staff are just really ready to go. We are very encouraged by the beginning of this year, and we look forward to working together because working together works better.
The city will not be receiving a grant to help fix up Memorial Beach. Councilors did say on Monday night, although, that they will try to come up with other ways to complete the project. The city did not make the final cut for $500,000 from the State Division of Conservation Services. Of the 50 applicants for a share of the money, only 17 received funding. The proposal at the beach calls for improvements to the parking area and paths to the beach, as well as a new basketball court and touch-ups at a concession stand. The Finance Committee could decide to fund the entire project or wait until the next round of grant awards to see if the city does better. In 2009, Marlborough Savings Bank had plans for a 24-hour drive-through ATM, but due to resident complaints, the bank backed off and agreed to restrict hours at the ATM. Now the bank wants permission to amend a special permit so the ATM can be open around the clock. City councilors said Monday night that the bank will have to apply to amend its ATM special permit and go through the public hearing process once again. Bank officials agreed to a number of concessions, including amending lighting plans and taking the ATM offline between midnight and 5 a.m. At the school committee meeting on Tuesday night, school officials stated that they will soon begin the search to replace Marlborough High School principal Deb Roy, who is retiring at the end of the year. Roy has been serving as principal since 2008. She spent several years in Marlborough in teaching positions and served as an assistant principal at the high school.
I began my career here at Marlborough High School in 1979, September of 1979, as a math teacher. In 1993, I think, I became the math coordinator for the department. Had many great years of teaching with a lot of great kids and worked with many great people who helped me along the way. I sort of grew up here at Marlborough High School and had, dozens of good mentors to help me along the way.
In other business, the board said they will likely talk at their next meeting about eliminating a half-day for students on March 14th and designating the entire day for professional development. The schools missed development days last year and at the beginning of this year. To ensure all students have a safe learning environment, Governor Deval Patrick designated this past Wednesday as a no name-calling day in Massachusetts. It was recognized in classrooms throughout the Commonwealth as students pledged to take a stand against bullying.
If you just smile at somebody or say thank you or say hi to them, you can you can change their day.
If you happen to stroll the halls of any of the Marlborough Public Schools on Wednesday, you probably noticed something unusual. Most of the students were dressed in black. Marlborough Public Schools participated in a no name-calling day activity of wearing black to black out bullying. By dressing in black, the students made a quiet stand to show their opposition to name-calling.
We do talk to them about what the difference is between bullying and teasing, and we define bullying, the fact that it's repeated and it's purposeful. It's not an accident. I didn't accidentally bump into you, and I didn't know that I was hurting your feelings. That's not bullying. We tell them, if you're doing it to hurt somebody's feelings, to physically hurt somebody, then it is bullying.
The event is part of a week-long awareness of how name-calling is a form of bullying that will not be tolerated, and that students should take a stand against such behavior.
If I see bullying, I'll tell them to stop, and maybe if it gets too serious, I'll go get a teacher and maybe try to stop it.
The No Name Calling Week provides yet another opportunity for Marlborough to teach about how destructive behaviors against others negatively affect everyone.
We're seeing a lot of cyberbullying. I feel like at least twice, maybe 3 times a week, I'm on Facebook with kids, pulling up messages, things they're saying to each other. And kids are saying things to each other in the hallway and not realizing the impact that they're having on people. And it's just, I think it's gotten worse.
The week-long recognition encourages students to actively practice kindness and compassion towards others.
I don't think you could ever stop bullying completely because it's been going on forever. However, we need to bully-proof kids. We need to give them their toolbox because even after they leave school, they're going to run into people in college or in the workplace or in society, that people are not going to be nice all the time. So we need to bully-proof them and give them the tools and the coping skills to be able to handle it and to be able to advocate and speak up for themselves.
Beginning this week, work began on the painting of a new Kane Elementary mural. Students developed drawings around the subjects of cooperation, compassion, integrity, and respect that have all been since incorporated in the design.
We focus very strongly on the arts in our school, and anything we can do to tie together our character education with our curriculum and with the arts is something that we're excited about.
The mural is called Character Shapes Our Community and is a combination of all students' ideas.
We decided on the concepts that we were going to focus the mural on. Then the students were given a period of, I believe, 2 weeks to draw pictures surrounding character concepts of cooperation, integrity, compassion, respect, and then those pictures were compiled by the artist and put into one large design that now all of the students will be able to paint.
Principal of the Kane School, Kirk Gibbons, began thinking of the mural project last year and got the process rolling with the district's visual arts coordinator, Julie Baker.
I knew of a grant opportunity that the Massachusetts Cultural Council has. It's called STARS Residency. And through that grant, you can get a professional artist to come into the school and work with the students and staff in whatever project you're proposing. So I was able to write this grant. You can get up to $5,000 if it's accepted, and we actually did get the $5,000. So we're extremely, excited and proud and lucky. We feel lucky to have that opportunity.
Muralist David Fichter has been and will continue to work with the school. David drew the outline of the design, and he's helping students make it come alive with color.
They can hardly contain their excitement. They're really excited to get in here. The biggest issue is having to wait their turn. So kindergarten got to start, and they had lots of fun. And now we're moving down the age groups.
Beginning this week, students spent several days painting the mural, and each Kane student had an opportunity to do so. According to the art teacher at Kane Elementary School, students are thoroughly enjoying this process.
They're pretty much loving it. We started talking about everything November-ish, December, and it started off a little slow because they really didn't understand the concept of a mural. But once we've talked more about it, and now that it's here, a little girl yesterday came in and almost cried. She was so excited to see it.
After the artwork is completed, the next steps will be put in place.
They will finish their painting, and then they will, the artist will seal it, and then we'll have a grand reveal probably May or June is what we're thinking, so that we're not putting it up in the middle of winter.
In addition to the start of the mural painting, Kane Elementary also took part in the blackout bullying exercise this week.
We had a very large banner going across the wall that the students could sign as a way of saying, yes, we're committing to not putting each other down with negative words, and we talked about it as a school through announcements and in individual classrooms. So the remaining visual piece of that is our banner that all of the students have signed, and we're finishing that up today.
This isn't the first time name-calling or bullying behaviors have been brought up at the school. There's constantly a focus on how to behave the proper way at school.
When you're teaching students, you're teaching more than math, science, and social studies, and all of the core subjects. You're really helping them become the person that they're going to be. And that is our most important job.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough This Week, an outreach program to ensure that our senior residents are driving safely. But first, we'll highlight the importance of STEM and the early college high school opportunities for students in the district. Please stay with us.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The science, technology, engineering, and math classes in the school district, in addition to the early college high school opportunities, have been challenging students in many ways this year. STEM specialist Bill Rigney recently took a trip to Seoul, Korea to see if Marlborough is up to speed when it comes to STEM. From November 30th to December 2nd, Rigney had the opportunity to visit South Korea for the Asia Science Educator Academy, where he was able to speak to numerous educators and government officials from 10 different Asian countries about Marlborough's early college high school and the project-based work that has been going on at the high school for years.
We are ahead of the curve when it comes down to student research. Now, as far as the STEM early college high school, we're one of the first in Massachusetts to have its doors open today in 2012.
Rigney stated that Marlborough is pushing the envelope when it comes to these types of opportunities for students within the early college high school.
The interesting part about being in Seoul, and a lot of the questions that were people asking, is what exactly is early college high school? And the part that we have with our partner with Framingham State University is that as seniors and juniors, our students will be able to take college courses on their campus. So students can graduate from Marlborough High School with earning up to 16 college credits.
Currently, the Marlborough School District has a STEM early college high school and STEM classes.
The idea behind STEM early college high school and then just STEM is that we're just taking two things and marrying them together. There are a lot of STEM academies where there's a great focus on science and math and engineering. And then there are early college high schools, or I think the common term that we hear are dual enrollment. So a student can take a college course while they're in high school. This is just a focused area behind the STEM fields and being able to take the courses in college.
Students want to excel in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math, and these opportunities give them the tools they need to succeed after high school, whether it is in college or the workforce.
I think that's the part that people have found the talks that I've given to be very interesting and important to them, so that they can share that when they go back to their schools. Because I know that there are things that we do in the Marlborough Public Schools that are in schools around the United States and around the world. And it's really gratifying to think that what we're doing here is meaningful.
Rigney is already gearing up for yet another trip this year.
I just received word that I've been invited to attend the 2012 Intel Educator Academy that runs along with the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair in May. So I'll be going out there and talking more to teachers from around the United States and the world on some of the things that we do in the Marlborough Public Schools. So I'm very excited about going, especially being able to talk about the STEM early college high school.
Laptops are a major component of the STEM program, and soon students will be able to take them home. A special parent community forum was scheduled for this coming Monday, but it's been postponed to the following Monday on February 6th. During classroom time, students utilize the laptops for classroom assignments.
It's one of the very important technology literacies that we're hoping to have instilled in our students to make them college and career ready, that it really is not just for one specific assignment, but that it really opens up the world for them.
Allowing the students to take home laptops at the end of the school day was also on the agenda, but school officials want to make sure that there are policies and guidelines in place. At the school committee meeting this week, Grulich outlined a few ideas to members.
This is a guideline procedure document that talks about how to care for the laptop, what the expectation is, warning them, please be sure when you have athletic activities after school, you don't just leave it in your backpack on the side of the field. And again, really, they have in their backpacks very expensive science books, math books, and this is an extension of their learning. It just happens to be in a tablet form, and it's a piece of technology.
To ensure that all parents and students are aware of these expectations, an informational session will be held.
Mr. Rigney, myself, and Mark Gibbs, the IT director for the Marlborough Public Schools and for the city, will be present to answer any questions and to roll out a refresher on the computer usage policy. We'll start with that.
Once students are allowed to take the laptops home, a concept called the flipped classroom could be implemented.
Flipped classroom is an innovative way of looking at education, where the teacher creates either a video or a pen cast of a specific lesson. And so the homework assignment for the student is to watch that teacher in action. So to actually take part in the learning at home. Oh, I didn't get that piece, rewind. So they're very responsible, taking ownership for their own learning, come in the day, and now the teacher is really working one-on-one in a much more intimate setting and more personalized and differentiated for the students. Flipping the classroom will become now an expectation, or at least we've provided the students with the tool if the teachers want to move in that direction. So this is an exciting time, just a very exciting landscape in education.
A forum that took place this week involved our seniors. An outreach coordinator from the Registry of Motor Vehicles came to the Senior Center to talk about safe driving. According to the RMV, seniors need to maintain their mental fitness in order to stay safe on the road.
Many of the brain health experts recommend to improve mental fitness, learn something new, learn an instrument, learn how to read music, learn, all sorts of skills that can really enhance our lives but improve our driving.
In the aftermath of a string of dangerous car wrecks involving seniors, the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles says its Shifting Gears outreach program is one way to focus on unsafe, mature drivers.
The reason why the crash rate begins to increase around the age of 75, slightly, and then markedly around the age of 80, the reason for the increase in crashes is due to functional impairments. Basically, functional impairments means that vision, reaction time, cognitive ability, and hearing decline with age.
As residents age, it's normal for driving abilities to change.
Driving is both a mental activity and a physical activity. People don't think it's a physical activity, but it truly is, because we're using all regions of our bodies. Mentally, we need to be mentally fit to drive. We need to be physically fit to drive.
Aging doesn't automatically mean they need to stop driving. However, to drive safely, it does mean that we have to pay attention to any warning signs that age is interfering with our driving safety and make appropriate adjustments.
Every day the road is different. There might be a pedestrian in the road, there's a car, there's someone who's distracted on a phone. So we as safe drivers need to be constantly scanning and anticipating what is that other driver going to do, or what is that pedestrian in the crosswalk. Do I have enough depth perception to be able to see far enough down the road to keep myself safe?
By reducing risk factors and incorporating safe driving practices, many residents can continue to drive safely long into their senior years. Sometimes unsafe signs can come up gradually, or a recent change in health may cause problems. Even if the individual warning signs seem minor, together they can add up to a substantial risk.
Am I having difficulty seeing at night? Am I having difficulty seeing at dusk or dawn or in low light conditions? Am I having difficulty keeping up with the speed? Do I need to scale back my driving? Or in some cases, do I need to completely eliminate driving? Do I need to stop driving? And planning ahead is a really important part of being a safe driver.
If a resident feels as though they should reduce their driving or eventually just give up the keys, it doesn't mean the end to their independence.
Make a plan, talk to the folks at the senior center, find out what's available in terms of alternative forms of transportation. As a society, don't we plan for everything? We plan for our retirement, we plan vacations. We really need to plan ahead for not driving.
Today we have Shaggy, and Shaggy is a beautiful purebred King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. He's 3 years old, and he gets along really great with people, but he's not so great with other dogs, and I think that's part of the reason why Shaggy's here. So he's looking for a home as an only pet. If you'd like to know more about Shaggy, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number's 978-443-6990.
Before we go, we just want to remind you that the official Facebook page of the City of Marlborough is now up and running. The city's Facebook page will feature notifications about upcoming meetings, emergency alerts, and school closings. Just search City of Marlborough. And also, don't forget that you can find information on our Facebook page as well. Just search WMCT-TV and become a fan. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.